rock.
Hello and welcome to Diabetes Insight today. This is our April edition and we're so happy to have you. We're here broadcasting live from Hometown Television in the HCTV studios, where our fabulous producer Jim Wofford is off to the side and leading our show behind the scenes for us today. So we're very excited for this day. You may notice that I'm wearing a sweater that has my Kiss a Pig badge on it, because this is Kiss a Pig Day. Now what is Kiss a Pig Day, you may ask? Well, the pig was the first source of insulin. And so we honor the pig by having our Kiss a Pig contest. And the way it works is we have several candidates who have been raising money, and they've been raising votes, and every vote is $1. And so tonight at the Indiana Pacers game, during halftime at Center Court, those who have raised the most money will get to kiss our pig. And our pig's name is Piglin, and her mother is Carlin. They live in Shelbyville, and Piglin has been our Kiss a Pig pig for several years now. So this is just a fun, exciting event and a fun way for us to raise money to continue our efforts to fund research, advocacy, and information for people with diabetes or pre-diabetes or those looking to prevent diabetes. So if you're going to the Indiana Pacer game tonight, be sure you watch Center Court halftime. And also come and visit our table. I'll be there and I'll be happy to meet you. Well, we've got several other things that are going on in the world of ADA. So today, Kiss a Pig, May 4th is Get Fit, Don't Sit Day. And that is the American Diabetes Association call to action for people to realize the problems with sitting too much. And so we, in our standards of medical care, we advise that people get up and move at least every 90 minutes throughout the day. And so on Get Fit, Don't Sit Day, you'll be seeing lots of information in the news, and we're encouraging people, set an alarm. If you have your phone nearby, set an alarm or an alarm clock or something to remind yourself that at least every 90 minutes you're going to get up, stand up, walk around your office, or go for a walk outside, do something every 90 minutes. You could even just stand there and do jumping jacks or march in place, something to get yourself up and moving every 90 minutes. Then on June the 4th, we have our Indiana Tour de Cure. This is our bicycling event that we have at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a very cool event. You have your choice of 4 different road routes. You can ride 100 miles around the track. You can bring out your family and your little kids and their little bikes and do a family leisurely ride on the track. Or you can take a road route, a 50K or a 75K that start and end at the track. And we'll have music and food and a festival of games and activities. It's great for the whole family. So we hope to see you there. Then we have our camp for children with diabetes. Camp John Warble is June 5th to the 11th. And right now we have just over 100 campers that are registered. We have 75 medical staff already registered to attend. Our camp ratio for adults to children is almost one on one, not quite, but close. So parents can be comfortable that when their children come to camp, they know that they have medical staff with them 24/7 at every single activity. We also have dietitians assigned to each cabin, and those dietitians work one-on-one with the children to create their menus, help them learn how to count their carbs, because every child is different. No child manages their diabetes exactly the same as someone else. And then coming up on August 27th, we have our Step Out Walk. And this is our fundraising signature event, and it will take place at White River Plaza, or Celebration Plaza down at White River State Park. And again, it's a fun event with music and food and games and activities for all ages. And you can, it's a 5K, but you don't have to walk the entire 5K if you don't want to. So it's good for all abilities of walkers, and we encourage you to join us for that. You'll see the information, contact information for signing up for these events. It's been going down at the bottom of your screen there. And then November is American Diabetes Month. We will have a lot of activities going on that month. This year, for the first time ever, we're going to be hosting a healthcare provider conference, especially for primary care physicians, nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, pharmacists, dietitians. and social workers, where they can come and earn credits and learn more about diabetes management in real life. And we'll have folks there who live with diabetes to help share their stories and just provide an update on the American Diabetes Association standards of medical care to all of these healthcare providers. You know, they're all very busy, and sometimes it's difficult for them to sit down and read an entire journal. So we're going to bring the journal to life for these healthcare providers. And also in November, we kick it off with our Josiah Kirby Lilly Gala. This is our formal black tie event where we honor someone in the field of diabetes who has made great advancements toward research, advocacy, or information. Our theme this year is Mardi Gras, so it's going to be great fun, I'm sure of that. We won't know our winner until much closer until time, but you can find out more information on our website at diabetes.org/Indiana. And then November 15th, we have our last mission engagement day, which is National Healthy Lunch Day. And so on this day, we provide tips and ways that you can make your lunch go from not so healthy to much healthier. We have food swaps and recipes that we can share. And again, you can find out more information on our website at wellnessliveshere.org or diabetes.org/Indiana. And this is a good time for corporations to get together and start having healthier meetings. Instead of having the donuts at the meetings in the morning, look for some other options that you can share for your breakfast meetings. Or instead of having all of your meetings sitting down, have a walking meeting. So we have a guide that is part of Healthy Lunch Day. It's called the Healthy Meeting Guide, and we're happy to share that with you as well. So again, you can find out all of this information plus more at our website, diabetes.org/Indiana. Here are some different ways. I don't know if it'll be up there on the screen here in just a second. But you can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram. If you put in AM Diabetes IN, you're going to find us. You'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Another great way to keep up with everything we have going on. We're a very, very busy office. We have lots going on. All right, we are going to take a short break, and when we return, you're going to find out what all of these props here are all about. We have registered dietitian Anna Busenberg with us, and we're going to talk about artificial sweeteners. So we'll see you in just a few minutes.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Welcome back, and I have with us our special guest, Anna Busenberg. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Wonderful. Well, as Carol mentioned, my name is Anna, and I work at St. Vincent Women's Hospital. I am a dietitian there, and I normally work with newborn babies. That's my day job. I calculate their nutrition needs and then help make sure that they grow. But then on the side, I really enjoy doing community presentations and working with the Diabetes Association to help provide good scientific nutrition information for people, especially those with diabetes, because we want to make sure that they are healthy and living a healthy lifestyle to help manage their diabetes.
Well, we've enjoyed working with you. Some of you may remember that Anna was with us last fall and did a segment on healthy eating. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we're interested to see what you're going to share with us today on artificial sweeteners.
Yes.
You know, it's a topic that can be both controversial, but artificial sweeteners are something we've come to rely on, I think. So we're interested to find out more information.
Yes, so I kind of wanted to start off with just talking about what artificial sweeteners are.
Okay.
Because a lot of people kind of have some misconceptions about maybe what they are or how exactly they work. So artificial sweeteners are indeed a substitute for regular sugar. And so they are a compound that's been normally man-made or created that then tastes sweet. And then we end up using it to replace sugar in different food items, beverages, and it gives us the same sweet taste, but it doesn't use as many calories. And so with that caveat, it allows, especially those with diabetes, to use these artificial sweeteners or sugar substitutes or low-calorie sweeteners, they go by lots of different names, to help manage their diabetes and to help keep their blood glucose levels under control. And so, again, you will find them labeled lots of different names. There'll be lots of different products out there. So we're going to kind of touch on that today. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the history of the products as well, so you kind of have a better idea about how they came to be.
That's interesting. I'd like to know that.
Yeah. And so artificial sweeteners are not absorbed the same way as sugar when you consume them. So that is kind of a good thing to start with when you're talking with someone about artificial sweeteners, is to help them understand that when you consume this artificial sugar, it's not being metabolized the same way. When we consume glucose or regular sugar, our body absorbs it and our pancreas creates insulin that helps to uptake it properly, and then it keeps our blood sugars low, and we go on and use it as energy and we're just fine. Now with diabetics, often there may be problems in that pathway. Maybe there's not enough insulin produced, maybe the blood sugar, there's too much of the glucose in the bloodstream. There can be lots of different ways as to why that's not working right. So artificial sweeteners have come out and they aren't metabolized the same way, and so the insulin in your bloodstream isn't having to absorb the glucose because it's not there. So it's very interesting that this kind of bypasses that pathway and it goes through your system, and you're not then having that same blood sugar increase like you would with regular sugar. So that's kind of the nitty-gritty details about how your body utilizes these products. So again, they can be a great tool to help those who are watching their blood sugars. And I would encourage, if you are using these, that's fine. They are definitely safe. We just want to make sure have some recommendations on maybe how much you should be having of them or how they exactly work in our bodies.
That's good to know, because those are some of the questions I get the most often. Are they safe? And are there certain ones that are better than another? Is one of our other questions that we get a lot.
So it has been, the FDA is the governing body over food products, and they have said that sugar substitutes or artificial sweeteners are indeed safe. And so they have come out with lots of position statements. The Diabetes Association has one all back in around 2012 saying that these are fine substitutes. I think it will be interesting as the years go on. Some additional research has been done, and I think we're kind of starting to see maybe some other secondary effects from these products. So we'll talk about that a little later in terms of some pros and cons with them, because it's not perfect, but it can be a very helpful tool for those wanting to manage their blood sugars.
Absolutely. Okay, so tell us a little bit how they were first developed.
Yes, so I thought this was very interesting as how this was discovered. It was all by accident, actually. So back in 1870 at Johns Hopkins, a researcher was working actually with cigarettes, and they were working with coal tar, and they were developing cigarettes, and they noticed that when they went to test these cigarettes, they tasted sweet, which was a very weird side effect because that's obviously not what they were going for. And that was how they discovered the first artificial sweetener, which is called saccharin. And that's what we know today as Sweet and Low.
All right.
And so it was complete happenstance that they found and discovered this compound that tasted sweet. But that is what kind of started this whole manufacturing trend with artificial sweeteners.
I had no idea it went back that far.
I know. It was quite a long time ago. Then in 1886, it actually started to become more popular in terms of they started adding these artificial sweeteners to food items and drinks because they realized that it cost less to use these products. They're man-made. They don't have to get it from sugar cane or sugar beet, so it costs less. And that they were noticing it tasted sweeter, so they had to use less to obtain the same amount of sweetness. So that's kind of what prompted this product, specifically saccharin, to kind of take off. Back in 1912, President Roosevelt had used saccharin himself and kind of decided, he had some researchers look into it, and they said that it was not harmful. And then several years after that, the FDA determined that, again, it's not harmful, it's safe for us to consume. And so that's kind of then a little brief history about how we ended up with saccharin, which was that first artificial sweetener. And then from there on out, the market has exploded, and there's lots of different now artificial sweetener compounds that are used. All have different tastes. They all have different aftertastes. And so if there's one that you've tried and you maybe didn't like the flavor, then I would encourage you, if you still wanted to try them, to maybe try another one. So Sweet and Low, again, being the original, has a very distinct flavor and taste when you use it. And some people kind of find that that's something they don't like. And so using something more like a Splenda, for instance, has been a product that tends to be more palatable to a lot of people. They tend to like the flavor a little more. And so we'll go through in the next segment a little more about the level of sweetness. So all these products are sweeter than regular sugar. And that's why you would use less of them in your beverages or when you're cooking. So I'll tell you exactly how much sweeter they are than sugar. And then that would influence, I think, the taste when you use it. And then also the taste of a food product maybe that you make with it, or something like that. So hopefully that'll be kind of fun to go over these, and then we'll go through a list of pros and cons and kind of give our viewers some information so that they can make a judgment as to if they want to continue to use these products, if they want to maybe try a different one, because there's a plethora of options out there. And so I think kind of being aware of all of them is extremely helpful when it comes to making your decision.
That's interesting. I'm really looking forward to our next segment. I'm just amazed by the history. I just had no idea. I thought, it probably came about in the 1960s or something like that, with Diet Right and Tab and things like that.
And that's when it really took off in popularity.
But, I had no idea it had such a long history. Amazing. Okay. Well, we will be back after this brief commercial message.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
and Anna is going to continue with the story of artificial sweeteners
Yeah.
because there's so much interesting information, and she's going to explain the different types that we have. You know, we have Splenda and Sweet and Low, and what do you have, Truvia or Stevia down
both of
there?
them.
And then brown sugar, good for baking. So tell us more about all these different types of sweeteners.
Yeah, so all of them, like I mentioned previously, are sweeter than sugar. So that is the whole theory behind you would use less of all of these products to obtain the same level of sweetness that you would get from regular sugar. With using less, they still contain calories, but it's less because you're not using as much than regular sugar. So that's another thing. A lot of people don't realize these do contain calories, but it's a small amount. For example, one packet of Splenda is going to contain 3 calories. So obviously, if you're using one packet, it's no big deal. If you end up using 12 packets, that could be 40 additional calories in your coffee.
Right.
So it's not totally calorie free. You really can't have anything like that. But instead, it's just very low calorie, and you're not going to use very much of it. So that's why it's really negligible when it comes to those calories. So on this slide here, I have the different products, their artificial sweetener name. So I mentioned saccharin. That was the first one that was discovered. We know that is Sweet and Low. It is 300 times sweeter than regular sugar. So again, you can use it in beverages. You can bake with Sweet and Low.
Okay.
However, the taste and even maybe the texture is a little different than what we would normally use with regular sugar or see with regular sugar.
Okay.
So a lot of people may not like to bake with it as much as just using it to sweeten their beverages. The next one is aspartame, or what we know as Equal. So this one's been around for quite a while as well. It came out after the Sweet and Low or the saccharin did. It is just 200 times sweeter than sugar, so it's not quite as sweet as the Sweet and Low. Again, this is a common item that we use for beverages. I don't know how many people that would cook with Equal, but again, sweetening beverages, just adding a little bit of sweetness would be how this product would be used. Now, stevia I've included on here. It's a little different because it actually comes from a plant. There's a stevia plant that is then used to create these sweeteners. Stevia and Truvia come from that same plant. And so it's a little different than these back row items because the Truvia and the Stevia are coming from a plant, whereas the Equal, Sweet and Low, and Splenda are all a man-made chemical that's manufactured and put together. The Stevia tends to be 300 times sweeter than sugar, so it's about an equivalent of a Sweet and Low.
Okay.
And then the Splenda is one that's come out most recently. I would say it is pretty popular. Again, most people really like the taste of the Splenda, especially compared to the Sweet and Low or Equal. It is 600 times
Oh my
sweeter
goodness,
than sugar.
no idea.
So it is quite a bit sweeter. And you probably may have noticed that. Again, you don't need as much of the Splenda when you're adding it to things. If you decide to cook with it, you would do a ratio of a half a cup of the Splenda product to what is called for a full cup of regular sugar. So you would need literally half if you're doing with any baking.
Okay.
It does bake really well. A lot of people really enjoy using it in baked goods. It mimics that same end product with regular sugar.
Okay, so the texture
so there's
is
a
about
lot
the
of
same,
success
and-
that people have had with using the Splenda.
Okay, and so it also, there's brown sugar in Splenda.
Yes, so I wanted to bring this because it's kind of interesting. Splenda, if you get the white sugar, it's all Splenda. It's all this artificial sweetener. Whenever you see a brown sugar product, it can be a Truvia, it can be a Splenda product, they are mixed half and half with regular brown sugar, which is sugar and molasses,
Okay.
and it's mixed with Splenda. So it's kind of cut in half. Therefore, it decreases the amount of calories from the brown sugar by half. So they take regular brown sugar with molasses and they add the white Splenda to it,
Okay.
and it kind of, for lack of a better word, dilutes it. And therefore decreases the overall calories. So a teaspoon of the brown sugar will still give you 10 calories. So again, it's not calorie free, but it's lower in calories than a regular brown sugar. So I like
Okay.
to bring that to people's attention
Yeah.
because sometimes if you just look at it and glance at it real quick, you may not realize that, hey, this is still sugar. It still has sugar in it. It's just fewer calories than what we normally would use.
Do you happen to know if there's also a powdered sugar in any of these?
I
types?
haven't seen that.
Okay.
That may be something that's coming in the future. Again, they started with just the regular white sugar, and then the brown sugar's been out for several years now. When I was at the grocery store, I didn't happen to notice a powdered sugar, but I
just
very
wondering.
easily
We'll
could
have
have
to
missed
keep
it.
my eye out. Yeah.
That's a very good question. We'll have to take a look and see. So as you can see, lots of different products. If you find one that you've tried and that you like, great. If there's one that you've tried and you just really have hated it, but you're still interested in using these products, maybe try another one, because they do have all very different tastes.
Okay.
So I wanted to touch on some pros and cons.
Perfect.
Because a lot of people have questions about, well,
Yes.
should I use these products? And I wanted just to have the viewers kind of make an informed decision. So real quickly, I'd start with the pros because, being optimistic. They're wonderful because all these products, the goal is to decrease your overall calories. And that's what we want to do. And so
And for people with diabetes, they need to count their carbohydrates.
Yes.
And so it cuts down their carbohydrates
exactly.
as well.
Yep. And so they're not having to count these products for those carbohydrates, and that's great. And so that is definitely one of the pros with these. Now, we are finding more research wondering if maybe if you're worried about calories and you're cutting your calories by consuming these products, maybe you tend to overeat other food items later. So more research is looking into that and seeing if this decrease of about 100 calories in your beverage, let's say, is really leading to an overall day of having that decreased 100 calories. Maybe you end up compensating for it. So there's further research that's being done in that area.
Okay.
Also, it's provided so many different options for diabetics in terms of sweetened beverages and food items. There's a whole market out there. Cookies, candy, drinks, everything you can find made with a low-calorie sweetener. Now, that can be great because it does allow for that diverse opportunities for diabetics to enjoy some cookies that are sugar-free. However, I do think it all needs to be consumed in moderation, and that leads me into my next point. It's all fine in moderation, but I really want to make sure that people aren't eating that whole sleeve of cookies just because they're sugar-free. So that's a key take-home point. And so again, if you find something that you like, if you want to try the different products, feel free. They're all available, tons of options in the store.
Well, and talking about the sugar-free, there are some products out there that say they're sugar-free, but they actually have more carbs than some. Ice cream is a good example. I've run into that many times. So beware of sugar-free and make sure you're reading the labels.
Read the label. Always start there because that's going to help signify what's going on. So I also listed some cons on here. Obviously, these products still contain calories, and there's some other new research coming out about it as well. So just kind of keep your eye out for some of that upcoming research.
Okay. All right. So you've shared so much information with us today on artificial sweeteners, and I think we could probably keep talking about it. There's so much to know. But all in all, it sounds like they're going to be safe for us to use. But if you have any questions, always check with your doctor, maybe make an appointment with a dietitian and talk further. Are there any websites you'd recommend for people to check?
So the Diabetes Association had a nice little information about artificial sweeteners. So honestly, I would start with a credible source like that.
Diabetes.org has all the information. All right, so we are going to wrap.
Her website and blog.
Oh, Anna, share with us about your blog.
So if you like to stay up on nutrition info, you can check out rdanna.com. I like to post different blog posts, so I actually have one up there that I'm going to post today about artificial sweeteners.
All right, fabulous. And the information is there on your screen. So thank you again for being our guest. You're fabulous.
My
The
pleasure.
time goes way too fast. But we are going to wrap up the April edition of Stop Diabetes Insight. And remember, you are always welcome to contact us at our office. Our office is located at 86th and Allisonville Road in Indianapolis. Our general email is indiana@diabetes.org. Our phone number is 317-352-9226. And we love to have visitors stop by, or we'll answer your calls, emails. We're here to help. So again, thank you for listening to us today, and until May, we will see you then.